Allah Azza wa Jal, but that lone believer got killed. This story also has lessons for the believers, right? Now the few believers who follow the Prophet ﷺ are being mentally prepared. You might even get killed for this. Yasir, Sumayya, Bilal almost, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. You might get killed just doing this, just talking about Allah. And so he gets into Jannah not because he just got transported there, he got killed. And by the way, how did they decide to kill the prophets? Or they planned to kill the prophets? Stone them and torture them to death. You remember this? So he must not have died an easy death. And so he goes, and that's a shaheed, because a shaheed goes straight to Jannah. So he goes straight into Jannah, and here are his words. Ya Allah, get them, because they killed me. Those kuffar. Somebody should take revenge for the believer. Ya Rabb. Qala ya qawm. Qala ya layt. First words. Oh, if only. Qawmi ya'lamun. If my people just know. If only there was some way for my people to know. He still loves them. Can you imagine walking into Jannah? What would you see? ذَوَاتَا أَفْنَانٍ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. You would see the trees of Jannah and they would mesmerize you. You'd see the waterfalls and you'd be hypnotized. You'd see the fruits and you'd go crazy after one bite. You'd see your beautiful spouse and you would go nuts. And he sees all of this and he doesn't say, whoa! He just says, oh my people, if only they know. Subhanallah. He makes it into Jannah and he doesn't forget his people. Do you know on Judgment Day people forget everything? A mother forgets her baby. يَوْمَ تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِعَةٍ عَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ. The day on which every feeding mother forgot what she was feeding. يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. The day on which a man will run away from his brother. You know in Surah Al-Ma'arij, وَفَصِيلَتِهِ الَّتِي تُؤْوِيهِ. His mother, his wife, his children, his parents, his entire extended clan. He'll run away from all of them. He doesn't want anything to do with anybody. You'll forget. وَتَقَطَّعَتْ بِهِمُ الْأَسْبَابِ. Quran says all relationships will be cut off, but for the believer they won't be. For the believer they won't be. He'll even go into Jannah and he will continue to love who? His people who were disbelievers and enemies of prophets because they're still alive and they still have hope. You don't give up on people who are still alive. And it's as though Allah is telling us almost as though He can still see them. Allah gave him camera view like a GoPro back into dunya so he could see what's going on. And He's watching from Jannah saying, if only they know. He doesn't say if only they knew, alimu. He says, Ya layta qawmi ya'lamun. If only they know. So He's still watching what's happening. Allah gave him view. Subhanallah. And then you realize what sincerity means. Muslims, we've developed such a bogus concept of sincerity. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. What we've done to the word sincerity. You have to have ikhlas in everything you do. Check your intentions all the time. Check them right now. Because if you don't have sincerity, then none of your deeds matter for anything. You heard this, yes? And you have to have sincerity only and only for the sake of Allah. I'm going to disagree with that. I know. Don't kill me yet. The Prophet would tell us sallallahu alaihi wasallam about a man who did lots of sins. And one day, he doesn't pray nothing. One day he's walking and he sees a dog, thirsty, sticking its tongue out. And the man decides that before he's going to drink, he's going to let the dog drink. Soon after, the man dies and Allah takes him into Jannah. Yeah? Let's go back into that story. That man, believer?
No. I don't know.
We don't know. Does he pray?
I don't know.
No. When he fed the dog, did he say, wait, let me ikhlas my intention. I'm only doing this for you, Ya Allah. The sticking tongue of the dog means nothing to me. It is your pleasure that I seek, and then I feed this dog. Did he do that?
No.
He just felt bad for the dog, and he gave the dog some water. Yes?
Yes.
So he was sincere in his concern for the dog. He had ikhlas. Yes? This man loves his people. But does he say, if it wasn't for Allah, I would hate my people? Does he love them because he's their people?
Yes.
And that is sincerity to his People, you have to have sincerity to Allah in your worship. You have to have sincerity to your parents, not just for Allah, but also because they're your parents. You have to have sincerity to your fellow Muslim, because he's your fellow Muslim. You have to have sincerity to your neighbor. You have to have sincerity to your job. You have to have sincerity to your school, to your business partner. All of those are sincerity. You don't try to artificially, no, you know what, I can't be friends with you because it's not for the sake of Allah. We just enjoy basketball together and that's not going to do anything for me in the akhirah. I don't know. Who did this number on you? Now you're checking your intention before you take a 3-point shot because there's no ikhlas in it. Like, what? You know? That's not how it works. We have to have clarity of intention, sure. We should revisit our intentions, sure. But sincerity is much more than sincerity to Allah. It's sincerity to all of His creation too. You have to have pure intentions towards people, not fake ones, you know? So that's love, His love for people, even in Jannah. And so Allah is describing actually that love for people is something that is the quality of the people of Jannah. Listen to me again. Love for your people is a quality of the people of Jannah. So when you find Muslims who are always angry at people, they're always angry at other Muslims, they're angry at their own family, they're really angry at non-Muslims, they're angry. That is not a quality of the people of Jannah. Ya layta qawmi ya'lamun. Now, he says, what he says, he gave this speech to his people, we don't even know his name, and his words are being recited until the Day of Judgment. Now think about the conversations you and I have. We talk about which iPhone, we talk about which car, we talk about which sports, which playoffs. Where are these conversations going to go? Are these conversations going to be immortal? Nope. Is this going to bring any good in the world? Nope. You know what I'm realizing as I talk about this? Words are priceless treasures to Allah. He's not a prophet, yet his words got recorded in the Quran. Does Allah record other things too? وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. I record everything Allah tells us. He records everything. So what would you rather have recorded? Something good? Some sincere advice? Did you have to have exhaustive knowledge before you said something good? Did this man have to have lots of degrees before he said something good? It's not complicated. Just be good. And look, the beauty of how tightly the Quran is knit when he's in Jannah and he says, if only my people knew. He said in the next ayah, بِمَا غَفَرَ لِي رَبِّي وَجَعَلَنِي مِنَ الْمُكْرَمِينَ. Because of the forgiveness my master gave to me and made me from those who have been honored. He talked about two things in Jannah, forgiveness and honor. Yes? Forgiveness and honor. In the beginning of the surah, فَبَشِّرْهُ بِي مَغْفِرَةٍ وَأَجْرٍ كَرِيمٍ. Beginning of the surah, Allah said, congratulate that lone believer somewhere that he will have forgiveness and noble compensation. You remember that? Forgiveness and noble compensation. Now in the middle of this story, this man ends up in Jannah and says, Ya Allah, you gave me forgiveness and you made me among the ones made noble. Review. Total review. This is called ihkam of the Quran. Wal Quran al-Hakim.